we are here to cover the operation of the solid liquid extraction or the leaching lab. So first things first, we're going to need to make sure that we have everything measured out and solutions made and whatnot. So we have our scale here. Probably the most important part here is to make sure that it is level. That bubble should be in that ring. It doesn't need to be dead center, but should be in that ring. If it's not, we see a foot there that is adjustable, and the same on the other side, and we can adjust it until it is level. Hopefully that is already done when you are using it, so just double check. So in the past we have used soy flour and calcium chloride. Calcium chloride helps to leach out the sugars in that soy flour. We should have different options this semester for types of flour, so that choice is yours. We'll measure those out then. We have weighing dishes here and several more elsewhere. And then for making a solution, we want to make sure that not just our mass, but our volumes are accurate. So part of that is making sure we use the correct labware or glassware. We are also going to use RO water for this. And that is in this sink here, with the lecture area right here, is the one here with the white handle. Spin that away from you, and that'll start it, and then towards you to close it. Alright, so once we then have our solution made, we'll want to get its mass in a plastic bottle here. These glassware with the solutions will max out the scale, so we'll use a plastic bottle here, not only for the mass, but transfer to the high bay area as well. Alright, so now that we have made our samples, we are now ready to actually perform the extraction. So we are in the high bay area. You can see the rest of the lab and the doors there. We're underneath the stairs to the catwalk there. Okay. So first thing we need to cover then is how to attach our vessel to the system. So we're going to attach it here on this clamp. There's a couple things to note before we start. So right here, there's a little metal billet, and we're going to attach the chain to that. So we're going to wrap it around the glass vessel, and then this nut here is what we'll use to actually tighten this. You can do this with one set of hands. Don't be afraid to use two. It can be a little difficult, especially for our first time. We're going to make sure that the chain here does not stay in the water. As temperature rises, that's going to rust, and we don't want that to happen. Alright, so now, pull that a little tighter. There we go. So now that we've got the chain on that metal billet, we'll just turn the nut, tighten the chain, and that's it. Okay. Next, we want to make sure that the impeller is attached to the motor. There's a flat part right here. We want to line that up with this screw here. And we'll just tighten that in. We want to give it a bit of a tug, make sure that it doesn't come loose. And that seems like that'll be fine. Okay. So now to actually turn on and operate that motor, we see a dial here. We probably don't need to go past a 2. My guess would be here at a 1.5. There's a switch up here in red. It'll light up when we start. And I've got that at about a 1.5. That's a bit fast, so probably here around a 1. So keeping that off, we would then transfer our made solution into the vessel. We'll use a funnel for that, make sure we don't spill, also to make sure that our masses stay accurate. Once it's in there, we will turn on then this impeller and let that heat up to whatever our desired temperature is. Once it is at that temperature, we will use a dry funnel to then add the soy flour and then let that mix for a stated time. Okay. So all of this then assumes a certain amount of, or a certain temperature for the water. So let us then discuss how to do that. So first, at the moment, our sous vides are unplugged. Let's go ahead and plug those in. Over here, I'll just use these outlets over here. Go. So now these are on, and setting up control on these is really easy. So first thing we might want to check is water level. We see a max line here, there's a corresponding minimum somewhere down here, so we've already got this filled up to a good value. To change this, we'll just hit this thermometer button and then spin the wheel to our desired temperature. So say we are running at, I don't know, 106.5 degrees Fahrenheit, and that will heat up the water bath here to that temperature. Then we'll do the corresponding value over here on the other one. There we go. Alright, so currently that shouldn't do anything as we've not actually started the heating. There's this little button here in the center on the top. Press those. And those will begin heating and circulation of the water bath. To check the temperature of our solution in the vessel, we have a thermocouple here. This is a type K thermocouple. We'll want to make sure that our thermocouple then is set to the correct value, the correct type of thermocouple. On this one, we can change the type here, and we can see the type here on this side. So currently this room then would be at 21.7 degrees Celsius. We'll then stick that down in the vessel. We'll want to make sure we keep it close to the side without touching the glass, so that we don't accidentally hit the powder. So keep it somewhere over here. Turn that off when we're not using it. And then finally, say we have performed the extraction, we've waited our time frame for mixing. We then need to undo the chain here and take our vessel back to the other room. So we'll do that in reverse order then. Make sure we have a hand on the stirrer. We don't want that to drop and hit the glass. Undo it. It doesn't take much, and we don't want to back this screw out all the way, because that is an easy way to lose it. And we don't want to lose that. All right. We'll then hold the vessel. Undo that nut we tightened earlier. Doesn't need to be much, just enough for that chain to come off. Put that in place, and we'll straighten that over the side for now. Then we'll take it out